It was my first day in Philadelphia, and I was barely 10 minutes in before I realized why it had been named the most walkable city to visit. There it was, standing at the edge of Market Street, caught between the Delaware River and the Schuylkill. With only 2 miles to walk, just 2, yet in that short stretch, there was a whole world. No wonder people kept returning to stroll its streets. In Philly, as it is fondly called, you don't have to travel far to find the good stuff, because the good stuff is everywhere, block to block, experience to experience, all just a few steps away. If there's a motto that perfectly fits this city, it is, why ride when you can walk? You know what's funny? How William Penn, way back in the 1600s, laid the groundwork for this wonder of a city. How was he able to come up with such a vision? I mean, if that is not pure genius, then I'm not sure what is. He designed it in a grid layout, a revolutionary idea back in the day. His goal was simplicity, uniformity, and walkability. He made sure that whether you were a first-time visitor or a local, finding your way was as simple as putting one foot in front of the other. He ensured the blocks were uniform, making the city a dream for urban planners who love symmetry and simplicity. The center city is flanked by 2 rivers, the Delaware to the east and the Schuylkill to the west. If you're feeling ambitious, you could walk from one river to the other along Market Street in under an hour. Of a truth, good things come in small packages, because this compact downtown packs in more sights, sounds, and experiences than cities twice its size. The first stop on my journey was the Pennsylvania Convention Center, right in the thick of it. The Wall Street Journal ranked the nation's largest convention centers, and Philly's took the #1 spot for walkability. Not only is the convention center itself a marvel, but from here, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump to some of the city's finest spots. Just across the street, I was greeted by Klaus Oldenburg's paint torch sculpture in Lenfest Plaza. A massive paintbrush, 51 feet tall, stands there like a monument to creativity, as if to remind passers-by that Philadelphia is a city that values art as much as it values its history. And art wasn't the only thing catching my eye. The city's rhythm was infectious. Just a block from the paint torch was the fabric workshop and museum. Don't let the name fool you, this place is anything but old fabric and sewing needles. The museum's contemporary art was a pleasant surprise for me. It went above and beyond everything I had anticipated. But perhaps the most surprising aspect of the museum for me is that it is completely free. I didn't pay a dime to enter. Now, if you think that's amazing, it's actually because it is. But Philly's splendor was far from over. As I continued down the street, I realized the city's true charm lies in its ability to make the ordinary feel extraordinary. Take Love Park, for example. Just a 4-minute walk from the convention center, the park is home to the iconic Love statue by Robert Indiana. You've probably seen the image before, bold red letters stacked on top of each other, with a crooked O. Just like Roosevelt Island, it is a place to sit for a moment, snap a selfie, and feel the city's pulse. Speaking of Roosevelt Island, do you know that the iconic Roosevelt Island tram is one of the few urban aerial trams left in the US? To learn more about Roosevelt Island and why it is often called the Holy Grail of New York City's urban planning, use the link in the description below to watch my earlier coverage on it. It's a great watch and you'll love it, trust me. Now back to the video. What is a walkable city without good food? I mean, you can agree with me that the best way to someone's heart is through their stomach, right? Now, this is the area Philly got its doctorate degree. You don't even have to travel far to find some of the best Philly eats. Just a minute from where I stood was Reading Terminal Market, a haven for food lovers. There before me were 80 vendors selling everything from fresh meats to baked goods, and, of course, the Philly cheesesteaks. Reading Terminal Market is a full-blown culinary tour. The proof of the pudding is in the eating, and in Philly, that pudding comes in the form of the Nick's roast pork sandwich or a sweet treat from Termini Brothers Bakery. You could spend hours walking through the market sampling the world on your plate. Nevertheless, I think we can all accept that variety is the spice of life, and that is where things get really interesting. You see, just 3 minutes walk from the market lies the legendary Chinatown. This iconic place is in the spotlight for all the right reasons. The colorful Friendship Gate welcomes you into a world of roasted duck, bubble tea, and stuffed waffles. In fact, it is a hidden gem within the city. The kind of place where you can find treasure in the most unexpected places. As I left Chinatown, I headed toward one of Philly's original public squares, Rittenhouse Square, just a 15-minute walk southwest. This square is a green oasis in the middle of the urban jungle, a perfect spot for those looking to relax. The park's fountains and public art feel like a slice of Europe tucked away in the city's heart. However, that is not even what will thrill you the most about this place. You see the restaurants here? They are the jewel in the crown of this place. They offer sidewalk seating with continental cuisines, making you feel like you're dining in Paris rather than Philly. But Philadelphia isn't all food and art. It is a city steeped in history. As I continued my walk, it became very clear why this city is often referred to as the birthplace of America. I couldn't help but feel like I was walking through the pages of an American history book. Just 2 minutes from the convention center stood the Masonic Temple, a place that caught me off guard with its stunning architecture and intricate details. Built in 1873, the temple's ornate frescoes, stained glass, and sculptures made me understand the rhetoric, "Old is gold." Continuing my journey through history, I walked 8 minutes to the African American Museum. This museum, founded in 1976, tells the powerful story of African Americans from pre-colonial times to the present day. It's a moving experience, one that reminds us of the historic adage, you don't know where you're going unless you know where you've been. As I neared the end of my day, I decided to walk to Independence National Historical Park, 15 minutes east toward the Delaware River. Right there and then, I realized why they said no visit to Philadelphia is complete without a stop at Independence National Historical Park. This area, known as America's most historical square mile, was a walk through history itself. I mean, it is hard to describe the feeling of standing in the same place where the Declaration of Independence was signed, where the Liberty Bell still rings in the hearts of all who visit. Almost 24 sites stood side by side, telling the tale of America's birth. They say history repeats itself, and walking through this square mile made me realize just how much America's past is woven into Philly's present. And just like that, I had walked from one end of Philadelphia's city center to the other. So, what makes Philadelphia such a walkable city? To me, I will say it's the perfect combination of history, art, food, and green spaces, all laid out in a way that invites exploration. This is truly a place where you don't need a car to get lost in the magic of the city. William Penn's grid plan, combined with the city's commitment to public art, green spaces, and historical preservation, has created a city that is easy to navigate and impossible to forget. For tourists, it's an open invitation to explore every nook and cranny. For urban planners, it is a model for how to design a city that works for its people. And for everyone who walks its streets, Philadelphia teaches us that the best way to experience a city is on your own 2 feet. Now over to you. What do you think makes Philadelphia such a walkable city? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Like and share this video to spread awareness. If you haven't already, subscribe and click the bell icon so you don't miss out on our future content.